Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, and thanks for the opportunity of updating everyone on the Platina Resources story as it unfolds to date. Small disclaimer here on what I'll be about to talk about. So who are Platina and what do we do? We're a junior explorer firmly entrenched in the platinum group metal space, but also with a gold focus in Australia and Greenland as our main geographic basis. 3 advanced projects with resources at Owendale, Money and Scareguard, and with some new acquisitions in Western Australia with some exploration projects there. At Owendale, we've recently doubled the platinum resource there. It's over 500,000 ounces of platinum there now in indicated and inferred categories. Also with over 9,000 tonnes of scandium metal. At Money, an old chestnut that's been in the company for a while, just under 1 million ounces of platinum and just over 1 million ounces of palladium up in the Pilbara of WA. And a very large but low-grade resource at Scareguard in Greenland with nearly 5.7 million ounces of gold and 8.7 million ounces of palladium. So a fair bit of metal there in the platinum-palladium PGM space, and our new projects in Western Australia with prospectivity for PGM, nickel, copper and gold. This is where we're at. Continental drift has allowed Greenland to come off the east coast of Australia here, and you can see we access that via Iceland. Very difficult geographic place to get to, nonetheless a big resource to deal with. Owendale in central New South Wales, just to the southwest of Dubbo, just to the north of Fifield, where it has been the only official production of platinum at Fifield in Australia of 20,000 ounces. We're just to the north of that field. Money in the northwest of Western Australia, and our cluster of new projects in the southern part of Western Australia. The machinations of how it all happens in the company. We have 132 million shares out. Share price is around about 6 cents and has been for about the last month. Puts us around the $8 million market cap, and cash at the end of June was just under 1.8, a little bit less now for this quarter. 3 or 4 key shareholders, very important for us to have linchpins like this. Tom Kaplan out of New York has about 20% of the company. Peter Woodford, who many of you will know on the east coast here from Melbourne, has 10% of us, and Mark Creasy out of the west. 3 core shareholders here, and the Sino portfolio group out of Hong Kong. Some well-known names and the directors and management here. For those in the west, Reg Gillard will be a well-known name. He is our chairman. Rob Mosig has been around the Platinum Group exploration space for a long time and resides here in Queensland and is our managing director. Brian Moller, a well-known senior and junior explorer resources lawyer here in Brisbane and a partner at Hopgood Gannon. Myself as exploration manager. A couple of other names I'd like to mention. Bob Skrzynski, ex-BHP, also provides timely and very efficient and effective advice for us on the exploration front. Douglas Haynes does quite a bit of our project generation, and I'll go through some of those targets and projects for you later in the talk. And Ben Sharp, our project geologist, all of which are here today, and at our booth if you'd like to chat to any of them after the talk. At Owendale in central New South Wales, classic central New South Wales country, nice flat country in fact. A new platinum resource for us, released only 3 weeks ago. We've managed to nearly double the amount of platinum ounces here in the resource. 31 million tonnes at just over 0.5 gram. If we throw in the nickel and the cobalt, which is albeit also low grade, but it effectively brings the platinum equivalent grade up to just sub 1 gram. We're looking at how this might be economic in the coming months, and if we look at the scandium content, effectively the dollar value per tonne of ore here is pushing $200. It's a development opportunity for us. We're pushing that through in the next few months. There was also potential to discover more platinum, both in the laterite, which this resource relates to, and also in the primary platinum in the ultramafic below the laterite. which nearly outcrops. I think it shallows to about 2 metres below the surface and extends down to around about 50 metres depth. So the mining in an open cut scenario should not be a problem. It's the grade and the metallurgy that will be of interest to see how we progress that in a short while. We present a separate scandium resource. It overlaps, is largely coincident with the metals, but we present it because it's an industrial metal and a rare earth metal and a little bit different than the others that are sold on a commodity exchange. It is the largest and highest grade scandium deposit that we know of in the world. Again, it's in the laterite. The scandium is adhered onto the goethite in the laterite. 9,000 tonnes of scandium here. Now, to put that in perspective, the world's demand is around 10 tonnes, so no doubt there's a fair amount of annual supply here in this resource. And it sells for about $2,000 a kilo. There is no primary mine that we know of that provides a lot of scandium, which could change things in the future, but we're trying to look at this from a platinum and nickel cobalt perspective first before we allow much of the scandium to perhaps get onto the market. Our research shows that demand is increasing for scandium. It's largely used as an additive to aluminium to strengthen that metal, and also in solid oxide fuel cells, which are used as individual power packs by putting methane and natural gas through them without combustion to allow electricity, and a lot of these packs are now being installed in the big buildings like Google and eBay and Walmart, etc. in the US, so it certainly has a future, I believe. This is the resource in plan view. I'm sorry, the laser doesn't work too well. The middle map shows the combined resource, the platinum and the scandium overlapping. It's quite difficult to see. There's about a 10 million tonne overlap of the two resources. On the left is the platinum resource in pale blue, and the scandium resource on the right-hand side. It is contained within a laterite that sits on top of a Devonian Alaskan ultramafic intrusion, which has intruded the Cambrian geolambane beds for those that are interested in geology. In particular, it's the more olivine-rich units of the dunite that appear to underlay the more platinum-rich parts of the laterite, and the scandium seems to be more related to the pyroxene-rich parts of the ultramafics in the intrusion. Various names: Owendale North, Cincinnati, Milverton, were various parts of the prospect that were given to the resource prior to this new resource, which we've managed to almost join up in a single entity. Cross-section showing the grades from a pretty flat surface. You can see in some parts of the resource it's only about 2 metres thick of alluvial cover. There's a quaternary alluvial channel that you can see on the right-hand side there that overlays the laterite and perhaps even incisors it down to around 50 metres. The laterite has a thickness of around 50 metres before moving into the fresh rock underlying dunites, where we do actually get some nice primary hits of up to 24 grams per tonne platinum, albeit over 1 metre. So there is potential for primary platinum, but we're focusing in on the laterite. You can see there the scandium is not so much coincident, but certainly spatially related to the platinum in section. This year we have provided a sample for metallurgy, looking at different options, different leaches on how to deal with the metallurgy here. We hope to have a final flow sheet finished by November, looking at 4 or 5 options that we can then take on to do further studies. We've looked at beneficiation using gravity and magnetic separation. The primary platinum mineral is isoferroplatinum. It's just a platinum and iron alloy. And we've also looked at various leaches using sulfuric acid at both atmospheric and pressure and high pressure situations, and cyanidation and chlorination. So we've looked at a lot of different techniques to extract the platinum, scandium, nickel and cobalt, and we're hoping that very shortly we will have one or two optimal flow sheets that we can then do costings and some better scoping on the CapEx and OpEx, and hopefully take this through to a fuller scoping and pre-feasibility next year. So just a highlight of Allendale, which has been our main focus for this year. Over 500,000 ounces of platinum now. We've almost doubled that resource this year. And shed loads of scandium, 9,000 tonnes of scandium metal there, and no doubt a significant resource. We think particularly platinum will do well in the coming decade, and scandium is a bit of an unknown, but looking at some of the technology that it's being used in with these solid oxide fuel cells, we think that it has a good future as well. Some of the leaches provide excellent recoveries for the metals, and that will be a trade-off as to whether they are expensive or whether we go for lower CapEx, lower OpEx scenarios. And on the updated resource and the metallurgical flow sheet, we hope to be presenting results of those early in the new year. And we're racing to see if we can have Australia's first official platinum mine within 2 years. Sudden change of geography and scenery, the east coast of Greenland. This is the very large Skaergaard resource. Many of you may have studied at university or at school. It has been around for some time. Challenging geography. You can see the glacier in the middle centre part of the picture there. That actually cuts through the resource. Just to the right of it, a semicircular feature is the layered intrusion, and you can see some layering in the left-hand side of the picture there, which is actually the mineralised reef outcropping. We access it by getting into Reykjavik and then flying to the north of Iceland, and then it's a twin-otter charter for several hours across the sea into the east coast. Very remote part of Greenland. A lot of activity on the west coast with resources being explored there, but ours is a little bit more challenging. But one of the factors that is in favour is that the low-cost geothermal power available in Iceland could potentially be certainly factored into processing any of the ore from Skaergaard. Again, we have upgraded the resource this year. It's been a good year for us from upgrading resources point of view. It is one of the world's largest palladium deposits outside of Russia, and certainly up there as far as gold resources go. There's a lot of contained metal, platinum group metal and gold in Skaergaard. The added bonus is that the titanomagnetite, ilmenite, vanadium and gallium byproduct credits could be significant for Skaergaard, and hopefully a joint venture partner in the future will look at this and instead of being a narrow reef PGM mining scenario, we're looking at a bulk tonnage scenario with both open pit and thicker stopes underground. But the current situation, high exploration costs and the current market probably necessitates a JV on this one, and we'll probably look at exploring those options in the coming weeks. As I mentioned, it's a 200 million tonne ore body, albeit at low grade, about 0.9 gold and 1 1/3 grams of palladium. Contained metal of 5.7 million ounces of gold and 9 million ounces of palladium, so it's not short on metal, it's just short on grade. And in this environment, a gold equivalent grade of 1.5 grams won't fly. So we need to have a look at the iron and titanium to increase the value of that ore, which certainly we think has a possibility. And the new projects in Western Australia, again focused on and driven by PGMs, but with the added bonus of nickel, copper and also a gold project. Douglas Haynes has been diligently working for us on generating these targets, and we're doing it Western Mining BHP style, big targets, big reward, albeit on a high risk scenario, but these are the sort of things that get us excited. We know that in the Fraser Origin now it's a significant exploration frontier, and we have 4 new areas just to the southeast of where the action has been, out from Nova with Sirius's discovery there, and we think some fantastic potential interpreted mafic, ultramafic intrusions here with feeder zones that look a bit like Voisey's Bay and some of these other PGM nickel copper projects. Undercover, big mag targets, big gravity targets, and warranting some EM and some drilling into those targets. No doubt looking to getting a hole or 2 into those. Our gold projects just to the southeast of Kalgoorlie there, with some untested banded iron formations undercover and look like clearly altered banded iron formations there. So again, these are granted tenements and will perhaps be the first cab off the rank for our drilling next year. Our Raison project up in the northeast to the north of Tropicana, very interesting area, very frontier country up here, gold and PGM nickel copper targets identified, and again a granted tenement, and we hope to be drilling this early in 2014. I'll give you a flavour of that now for the technically minded. The left-hand image is a magnetic image of the area, and a gravity image on the right-hand side. Bedell Resources have had some very nice hits just to the western part of our boundary there, 10 metres at nearly 8 grams and 15 metres at nearly 3/4 of an ounce gold in recent times, and we know that there are also some ultramafics in that package, but we can see that we have a similar package in the western and southwestern part of our Raison EL, and will be the initial targeting for us here. Interestingly, Kennicott drilled a hole here in the 1980s in the big magnetic feature in the southwest here, and looking at the petrography, the petrographer decided that this was a potential layered ultramafic because of the textures he was seeing in the rocks here. So we may have a layered mafic, ultramafic intrusion with platinum group metal potential here. So we think an exciting ground, and drilling hopefully early in 2014. Watch this space. So a quick snapshot of who Platina are and what our goals are. We're a junior explorer firmly in the platinum group metal space, and focused on developing, we think, Australia's first platinum and scandium mine at Owendale within 2 years. We have one of the world's largest palladium deposits with significant gold outside of Russia here at Skaergaard, but it's in Greenland, and we think it warrants joint venture participation to move that forward. And we exist to be a platinum group metal and precious metal explorer, and we're now focused firmly in Western Australia and the Fraser Origin and the Yilgarn. So thanks very much. We have a booth if you'd like to come and talk to the team sometime after lunch. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mark.